Hi everyone, let's begin. Tuning into the information that's available for our session today. Something locks in here. Tuning 100%, translation 100%. Wonderful. So let's talk about the head first. That's the most obvious thing. I'm looking off towards the left side. Left side is relevant. Left side is relevant to do with time. Left side is relevant to do with time. We're looking at something in the past. Then left side things to do with the past. Right side of things to do with the future. Something about the past, and this mudra is relevant as well. Something that I know. What is this? Interesting, because I don't have any references for this specific shape, so something new, but something that I know. So at a subconscious level, what would this be representative of? My thumb and my finger here, my index finger, are touching, and there's some involvement of the middle finger across that reference as well. So 3 different elements that we're working with at this moment in time. We're talking about ether, we're talking about air, and we're talking about fire. So if I bring together those things, I see kind of a purple flame in my inner visionary space. So something about mixing these qualities together. When I think about purple flames, I typically think about things to do with metaphysical qualities, so I usually think about witchcraft. We're working with a pattern of witchcraft here in this moment in time, something about the past, so a piece of witchcraft that's affecting our collective energy from the past. Let's work with something within our lifetimes. Okay, so something that's affecting us from this lifetime. Earlier today, I've been holding a lot of the corna, which is an Italian symbol. It goes further back than that, but it's a symbol to ward off the evil eye. Essentially, it was co-opted into rock and roll, and a lot of Christian individuals said, "Oh, it's the devil horns." But originally, it was something to ward off the evil eye, something to ward off bad luck and psychic attack from other individuals. Something about psychic attack, but there's more complexity to it in this case. Let's see, what else are we noticing here? If I continue to look over here, there's sort of a sweeping sensation on the top of my crown. So that seems to be relevant. Sweeping sensation on the top of the crown to do with, let's see, the physical body, so something energetic, something to do with the crown chakra, so something blocking in our capacity to receive information from our higher selves, receive information from source, from God. We're trying to receive, contact is trying to be made right now, but we are unable to hear the message that is coming through because of this case of witchcraft that's affecting us in the past. It's blocking out our ability to hear something from source. Let's see. It's like my head is looking for something. That's interesting. This wobbliness, like my chin. I'm seeing like a light, like a laser pointer coming out of my chin, and it's like it's looking for something, and now this finger is wobbling as well, so let's find something up there, and and something there. Okay, so 2 lines in space, going like this and like this, both tilting lines, both representative of emotional patterns. So 2 tilting lines in space, representative of emotional patterns. One of them represented by the chin. Is the chin relevant? Chin is relevant to do with the tongue. Chin is relevant to do with the jaw, something to associate with the jaw. Let's talk about different things that can be associated with the jaw in terms of organs. So let's go. So the immune system. So emotions associated with the immune system. More corna here, so we're really trying to ward off that evil eye for a moment. Don't worry, you're safe here. Let's see. Something about the immune system. A reference that I have, so something that would be more of a subconscious reference. So the jaw pointing to the immune system. When I think about the immune system, if I were to incorporate that into a subconscious pattern to do with emotions, I'm seeing coughing. Coughing in my mind's eye seems to be relevant. So, coughing though. My defense systems are down, right? So my immunity has already been crossed, and when you catch a virus, right, when a virus invades the human body, you are more susceptible to then having co-occurring infections with other things. If there's a viral infection in the body, you're more likely to then catch a bacterial infection on top of that, or a parasitic infection or a fungal infection on top of that, right? So this is talking about my defenses are down, and because of that, there are energetic influences that are more likely to be able to hit me. So we talk about, there's truth to the statement that when it comes to witchcraft, when it comes to energy from the outside, it only affects you as much as you let it affect you. But we are also human beings, and we're imperfect, and we aren't aware of everything that's going on at a conscious, subconscious, or unconscious level. You just can't be aware of everything that's going on, which means you're likely not aware of all of your weak points. No one is. You grow as a human being and you try to become more aware of those things, but you're likely not aware of all of your weak points. So there's likely an area where we're not aware that we're already in the depths of being affected by this thing. So then when you're already being affected by something, telling someone, oh, you just decide not to have it affect you anymore, it's within your power to decide whether or not it affects you anymore. That's kind of an insensitive thing to say, you know? This thing has been affecting you potentially your whole life. So potentially your whole life, this thing has been affecting you. It's kind of become a normal perception of the way that you view the world is now colored by this thing. And for you to just say, oh, that's not there anymore, I'm just going to go la 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 and pretend that this thing doesn't affect me anymore, that's not helpful. It's not helpful to tell someone, oh, just don't let it affect you. Well, you know, that would be true if it were brand new and I could stop someone from cursing me and saying, nah, I'm not going to take that on. But if it's something that I've been dealing with for pretty much my whole life, then separating myself from that is kind of like cutting off my arm. You know, it's not an easy thing to just go, okay, well, I guess it's just going to happen today. It's not simple, right? It's not an easy, simple, or useful thing to tell someone to just say, oh, just don't let it affect you. So instead we need to figure out what it's stuck to. So the emotion 1 here to do with the chin, to do with mentation. Mentation, that's interesting. Mentation is your thought process. So something about our thought process having to do with our defenses being down, but there is another line here, another tilting line in space representative of a separate emotional pattern. Let's see if we can tap into that to find more information here. Point being, you're not stuck, but I understand that it's really not an easy thing to do to just say, oh, this doesn't affect me, if it's been affecting you your whole life, right? It's become a part of who you see yourself to be, so it takes time to change and step out of those patterns. That's what we're working on today. How could we come to step out of this pattern? As I intersect with this piece here, I notice that it's not just a line, it's more like a wall of texture here that I can reach into, and the texture is sort of like, it's sort of like the 1990s Nickelodeon slime. It's green and it's gooey in here, so let's talk about green and gooey seems relevant. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble also comes in through the center of my head, so we're talking about classic 90s movie influences, sort of witchcraft, where, you know, you have a hocus pocus where the witches look ridiculous, and that's the whole point of it, you know. So something about witchcraft influenced by society. So someone or something casting this upon us at one point in time. We'll learn more about that as we go, but influenced very much by societal outlook on things. I pray at the start of every day, so we do have all of the divine help that we need here in this moment. Do we need more help? Wonderful. So we're already set there. Though if you feel the need, it never hurts to pray when working with things of a, you know, of a human consciousness level rather than a divine consciousness level. So I'm kind of feel like pressing up against the surface of this instead. So that makes me think I want to feel the whole outline of it. So let's close our eyes and see, can I detect the whole outline, the shape of what this thing is? So it's like one big germ, what you would classically see as a germ in a textbook or a cartoon, where it's that round bubble shape with the different prongs that come off of it. It looks like that, starting here. And that has to do with this emotional pattern. So emotions to do with germ, yeah? Emotions to do with germ. That's interesting. Contagious is the word that's coming to mind. So an emotional pattern where something about this is perceived as contagious. There's a third line that's popping up here, and I feel it in and around the area of my belly button. It feels like a circular looping sort of thing that's rolling in a forward direction here. So something about, we're working with, right, my defenses are down, one emotional pattern, something about contagious, a second emotional pattern, and a third emotional pattern that's looping here and now causing an aching on the left side of my neck. Should we start with the area of the looping line? Should we start with the neck? Okay, so something going on here on the left side of the neck. Left side is relevant to do with feminine energy. Feminine energy, my capacity to receive and magnetize things towards me in the world, does not have to do with gender. Every human being has feminine and masculine energies. Feminine energy is my capacity to magnetize opportunities towards me, and masculine energy is the natural result of stepping into those opportunities where actions then take place, right? So these things ebb and flow and cooperate and move together, right? As a part of every human being's consciousness, these things move and ebb and flow together. There's something about feminine energy. Is the neck relevant? No, it's just a pointer towards feminine energy. So then we come back to the belly button area. So something to do with the belly button? No, so let's tune in a little deeper here. It's like a wheel, a bicycle wheel. I'm seeing pegs and spokes, and it's kind of going around, and I'm hearing that sound. If you were a kid, again, in the 90s, 2000s, people would put a card in the wheel spoke, and it would go like, let's try to make it sound like you're, I don't know, having a motorized vehicle for some reason, because kids do what kids try to emulate adults, right? That's how they have fun. Oh, that's one of the ways they have fun. Is that relevant? So that's part of how we're picking up this pattern of witchcraft as well. As a child trying to emulate an adult, picking up adult patterns, right? Picking up adult patterns here, but is that the emotional pattern? So the emotional pattern is, I want to be like someone else. Yeah, I want to be like one of the adults in my life who I see as being really cool. But that person who's really cool, also relevant? No, but our wanting to be like them is relevant towards taking on a societal pattern of already present witchcraft. Cool, so that was where the societal aspect came in from before, something that's already present among the collective. We as children subconsciously stepped into an already existing pattern of witchcraft affecting our ability to, receive in a certain situation, in a certain area. Likely, if I had to guess, our ability to receive as a result of us being who we are, which is a basic definition of feminine energy, right? As a result of you just being who you are, you receive. But as a child, you kind of learn how to be who you are by taking references from a lot of different places and being like, I want to be like that, and like that, and like that, and like that, and like that. And if you do that enough, and you start to have situations that make you step out into the world, into social circles, right? Then we start to get the influence of our peers as well, and they start to tell us what's cool and what's not cool. Same with other adults. They tell us what's cool, what's not cool, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And eventually, as a child, you just get so confused that you lose track of who you actually are, and something about that is related here. Losing track of who I actually am. I can't be who I actually am. I'm trying to instead be all the things that I'm supposed to be based off of what society tells me. That's the pattern of witchcraft here. I'm trying to be all the things that society tells me that I'm supposed to be, which means I'm not being me. And as a result of me not being me, my system, my energetic system, my immune system, my body, everything about me is not functioning at full capacity. That's the my defenses are down line here, right? And this pattern is contagious. It's contagious. So many kids step into this pattern. Almost all kids step into this pattern because they see adults and they look up to them and they want to be like them, and they don't know what that represents. They don't know that those adults are pretending to be enjoying life because they're seeing the joy that a kid shines through and represents. And in reality, when a kid steps into the field of saying, I want to be like that, they're stepping into someone who's probably already a little bit defeated. Doesn't mean they're not strong, doesn't mean they don't have good qualities too, but they're probably already a little bit defeated, and they're looking to the kid for inspiration. That's why adults act so wonderful and playful around kids, you know? Because they see the light in children, and it makes that light start to emerge a little bit more out of them like they had when they were kids, but they lost because they followed the words of society. Okay. Something is moving. I'm holding a vase. I'm holding a bright green glow in the dark vase. That's interesting. So, something in here. What is this? Is this a potion? Is this a remedy? A remedy to your witchcraft here. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. How do we undo this pattern? We undo this pattern with a little bit of divine help in the form of a separate remedy, like what's that called? Antivenom. Antivenom. Got a little vial of antivenom here. Okay, cool. So, is there more that I need to know? So then just follow through with what's obvious. Let's just pop the lid off that antivenom and okay. All right. Wonderful. Are these trapped emotions still present over our energy? Is this witchcraft still present over our energy? I believe that's all that I have for you today. I hope that it was beneficial, and I'll see you next time. Take care.